Have you ever wondered why, despite following a strict diet, exercising, and taking medication as prescribed, your blood sugar levels continue to rise? Why does diabetes seem to become even more complicated the harder you try to control it? Today, we're going to uncover a truth that may completely change the way you think about your diet. You are what you eat. For decades, we've been misled by misconceptions. Is fat really the enemy of heart health? Or is it carbohydrates, the very thing most of us consume daily, that are the true culprits? In this video, I'll share a completely different perspective, backed by science and real-life experience, from someone who has successfully managed diabetes without relying on medication. Stay until the end of this video because what you're about to learn could save your health, help you control your blood sugar without depending on drugs, and most importantly, allow you to regain control of your body. Are you ready? Let's get started. 1. The low-carb diet, the key to diabetes control. Do you ever feel like you're trapped in an endless cycle with diabetes? Every time you check your blood sugar, the numbers spike, your doctor prescribes more medication, sometimes even insulin, and you try to follow the conventional, healthy diet, whole grains, low fat, and avoiding sugar. Yet, strangely enough, your condition doesn't improve. In fact, it gets worse. Maybe it's time to ask an important question. Have we been heading in the wrong direction all along? Dr. Richard K. Bernstein, who was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at a young age, faced this exact reality, but instead of accepting his fate, he did something remarkable. He found a way to control his blood sugar without relying on medication. And his answer lay in one simple principle: reducing carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the main cause of blood sugar spikes. Every time you eat bread, rice, cereal, or even sweet fruit, your body quickly breaks them down into glucose, causing your blood sugar to rise. The pancreas responds by releasing insulin, a hormone that helps move sugar into cells. But if you have type 2 diabetes, your body gradually becomes resistant to insulin, forcing the pancreas to work harder until it eventually wears out. If you have type 1 diabetes, you must constantly inject insulin to regulate your blood sugar. But what happens if we reduce carbohydrate intake? When carbs are minimized, blood sugar doesn't spike, the pancreas doesn't have to overwork, and the body gradually becomes more insulin sensitive. This means lower HbA1c, reducing the risk of diabetes complications, fewer blood sugar fluctuations, preventing dangerous hypoglycemia episodes, less dependence on medication, with some patients even able to stop insulin under medical supervision. Dr. Bernstein didn't just propose this theory, he is living proof that it works. Diagnosed with diabetes as a child, he has maintained stable blood sugar for decades through a low-carb diet. So why don't more experts talk about this approach? Are we stuck in outdated thinking? Don't go anywhere, because the next part will reveal the truth behind this diet and how you can start applying it today. 2. The role of fat in a diabetic diet. Is fat really the enemy? For decades, we've been bombarded with the same message: fat is bad for your health. Eat less fat to reduce your risk of heart disease. But what if this message is completely wrong? Dr. Richard K. Bernstein and many other health experts have discovered that fat is not the real problem. If you have diabetes, the key is not to avoid fat but to control the amount of carbohydrates you consume. The biggest mistake: eating high carbs and high fat together. Most people don't just eat a lot of fat, they combine it with large amounts of carbohydrates. This is the perfect recipe for weight gain, increased insulin production, high blood sugar, and insulin resistance. Think about a typical meal: a hamburger, carbs; fries, carbs and unhealthy fats; and a soda, sugar. This combination causes a massive spike in blood sugar, leading to a surge in insulin production. But insulin doesn't just lower blood sugar, it's also a fat storage hormone. The result? The more carbs and fat you eat together, the more likely you are to gain weight and suffer from diabetes complications. Fat can be beneficial if consumed correctly. In a low-carb diet, fat not only provides energy but also offers numerous benefits. Stabilizes blood sugar. When carbs are reduced, the body shifts to burning fat for energy, reducing glucose fluctuations, lowers insulin levels. Fewer carbs mean less insulin is needed, helping improve insulin sensitivity, keeps you full longer. Fat promotes satiety, reducing cravings and helping with weight management. However, not all fats are beneficial. Trans fats, such as hydrogenated vegetable oils and fried foods, should be avoided. Instead, focus on healthy fats like olive oil, avocados, nuts, fatty fish, and grass-fed butter. So, here's the big question. We've avoided fat for decades, yet diabetes and obesity rates continue to rise. Maybe it's time to rethink what we know about nutrition. 3. The link between blood sugar and insulin, the silent battle inside your body. Have you ever heard someone say, "Just control insulin, and you don't need to worry about blood sugar"? It sounds logical, but in reality, it's not that simple. Blood sugar and insulin go hand in hand. And if you only focus on insulin while ignoring blood sugar, you could be making a serious mistake. Imagine your pancreas as a factory worker. When you eat a high-carb meal, your blood sugar spikes, and your body sends an urgent signal to the pancreas: work harder. We need insulin to lower blood sugar. The pancreas has no choice but to pump out large amounts of insulin to try to restore balance. What happens when blood sugar is constantly high? If you consistently eat too many carbs, your blood sugar remains high. This means your pancreas is constantly working overtime, producing insulin nonstop to deal with excess sugar. Over time, like an overworked employee, the pancreas becomes exhausted. Early stage, the pancreas still produces insulin, but your body becomes resistant to it. Even though insulin is present, the cells no longer respond effectively. Later stage, the pancreas becomes worn out and can no longer produce enough insulin to keep up. This is when type 2 diabetes worsens, and patients may need insulin injections. The solution: lower blood sugar to reduce pancreatic stress. The best way to give your pancreas a break is to reduce carbohydrate intake. When you eat fewer carbs, blood sugar doesn't spike as much, so the pancreas doesn't have to work as hard. The body becomes more insulin sensitive, allowing for better natural blood sugar control. There's less risk of pancreatic burnout, delaying or even preventing the need for insulin therapy. Many people believe type 2 diabetes is a one-way street once diagnosed. You'll only become more dependent on medication. But the truth is, you can control and even reverse diabetes by changing your diet. And the first step is managing your blood sugar so insulin doesn't have to work overtime. By understanding the connection between food, blood sugar, and insulin, you can take back control of your health. What you eat truly determines your blood sugar levels, and by making the right choices, you can break free from the cycle of diabetes and live a healthier life. Are you ready to take the first step? 4. Modern lifestyles increase diabetes risk. Are we hurting ourselves? Have you ever wondered why more people are developing diabetes today compared to 50 or 100 years ago? Is it genetics, or is it because we don't exercise enough? The answer might surprise you. Modern lifestyles, especially our diets, are the main drivers behind the diabetes epidemic. Let's take a look at how we eat today. Convenience foods are everywhere: white bread, soda, fast food, candy, processed snacks, and sugar-laden fruit juices. We've become so accustomed to consuming these products that we fail to realize they're slowly destroying our health. The major shift in human diets. Now, let's rewind 100 or 200 years. Back then, people primarily ate whole, unprocessed foods: meat, fish, eggs, fresh vegetables, nuts, and naturally grown fruits. Little to no sugar, minimal processed foods, and no soda or fast food. And what was the result? Obesity and diabetes were almost non-existent. But then everything changed. As processed foods became widespread, people started consuming too much sugar and refined carbohydrates, leading to frequent blood sugar spikes, causing insulin resistance, overworked pancreases, eventually leading to failure, increased belly fat, raising the risk of type 2 diabetes. The way out: returning to natural eating. We can't go back to the Stone Age. But one thing is certain: we can change our eating habits to protect our health. Eat like your ancestors: whole foods, low sugar, and minimal refined carbs. Avoid processed foods, sodas, candy, and industrial fruit juices. Focus on protein, healthy fats, and green vegetables instead of relying on carbs. Diabetes doesn't just appear overnight, it's the consequence of our daily choices. But the good news is that you can change that today. By adjusting your diet, you can control blood sugar, reduce diabetes risk, and live a healthier life. 5. Practical lessons. How should you really eat? Now that you know how modern diets are harming your health and increasing diabetes risk, the bigger question is, what is the right way to eat? Many people believe they can eat whatever they want as long as they take medication or insulin. This is one of the biggest and most dangerous misconceptions. Insulin is not a free pass to consume unlimited carbs. If you continue to overload your body with sugar and refined starches, you're accelerating insulin resistance, pancreatic exhaustion, and severe diabetes complications. So, what does the right diet look like for people with diabetes, or anyone looking to prevent it? 1. Reduce carbohydrates, especially refined starches and sugar. Carbohydrates are the main culprits behind blood sugar spikes. So, it's crucial to minimize high-carb foods, including white bread, white rice, noodles, pasta, French fries, sugary drinks, sodas, commercial fruit juices, sweets and processed foods high in sugar. Instead, choose carbs that have a lower impact on blood sugar. Green vegetables, nuts, avocados, berries, strawberries, blueberries. A small amount of natural starches like sweet potatoes and brown rice, if tolerated. 2. Eat enough protein and healthy fats to stay full and keep blood sugar stable. A diet low in protein and fat will leave you constantly hungry, leading to sugar cravings and overeating. To maintain stable blood sugar and avoid frequent hunger, include protein, meat, fish, eggs, legumes, and cheese. Healthy fats, olive oil, coconut oil, avocados, almonds, and salmon. Fat is not the enemy, it's an excellent energy source, especially on a low-carb diet. 3. Don't rely on insulin to fix a high-carb diet. Many people with type 1 and type 2 diabetes believe they can simply increase their insulin dosage to compensate for eating more carbs. But this approach has serious consequences. Increased risk of sudden hypoglycemia, low blood sugar. The more insulin you use, the more insulin-resistant your body becomes, worsening the disease. Weight gain, leading to obesity and higher heart disease risk. Key takeaways. Remember, the food you eat every day is the strongest medicine. A diet low in carbs, rich in protein and healthy fats will help you stabilize blood sugar, reduce insulin resistance, keep your body healthy and prevent diabetes complications. You don't have to follow an extreme diet. Just make smarter food choices. For your health, start eating right today. Conclusion. The key to diabetes control and a healthy life. If there's one thing you should take away from everything we've discussed, it's this: your diet determines your health. Diabetes is not a life sentence, it's the result of poor dietary and lifestyle choices. But the good news is that you can reverse it. A low-carb diet not only helps control blood sugar but also allows your body to return to its natural, healthy state, just like how humans ate for thousands of years before processed foods existed. Dr. Richard K. Bernstein, who has lived with type 1 diabetes since childhood, has proven that reducing carbohydrates can stabilize blood sugar and prevent complications, even when mainstream medicine remains skeptical. He's not alone. Drive. Jason Fung, Dr. Eric Westman, and many others advocate for this approach. They don't just rely on theories, they've helped thousands of patients reduce their dependency on medication, improve their health, and extend their lives. So why isn't this method mainstream yet? Because we are stuck in outdated beliefs, thinking insulin is the only solution and fat is the enemy. The truth is, dietary control is the most natural, effective, and safest way to manage blood sugar. Managing blood sugar isn't just about avoiding complications like blindness, kidney failure, and heart disease. It's about improving your overall quality of life. No more sudden blood sugar crashes, less dependence on medications, a healthier, longer life. So, will you continue following the old, failing path, or take control of your health starting today? The choice is yours.